Hello, my name is Jim Mullaney from SciTech Process Solutions. Today is Wednesday, October 24th, 2018. Today I'm doing a video source inspection on a fully remanufactured 870S spinner and dryer. This video will be uploaded to our YouTube channel for our customer to review. For that reason, we do not give their name out on the order for their privacy. Their order number is 008-2018. I like to talk about the options the tool has first, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the tool itself and our remanufacturing process. So this system has, as you can see right here, this is the new SciTech Slick Device S1 graphical interface controller. This is the most sophisticated controller that can be retrofitted to a semi-tool S or F model spinner and dryer in the world. It has data collection, it has alert modifications, it has multiple recipe processing. We monitor all the key aspects. We have nitrogen savings options. I won't go into detail on this controller now because on our YouTube channel we have a lot of detailed videos we've done on training how to use it and so forth, and our customer can feel free to go through the detailed training there. But again, this with the Slick Device controller and our high quality manufacturing process makes this retrofit rinse dryer higher quality than any rinse dryer you can buy in the world. Okay, so the options, the four I'll look for, it should have the resistivity monitor, and I see that back here. I also see that it has the water recirculation option. We do have EMO back here. I like to make sure I identify the SRD number. It's on the nameplate back here. It's semi-tool 870S. System serial number is SRD-01108, and the remanufacturing date is 10/2018. On the back, we also have our website address and a note that has we have 100% spare parts and service. The other options it includes, let's look, the anti-static module, and I can see that. It also has the, I like to check to make sure I'm correct here so I don't give you the wrong option. Let me just put this down for a second. It also has and you can't see it, unfortunately, because the skins are on, but it has our N2 saver valve. So with our state-of-the-art Slick Device controller and our, oops, I don't know what I hit, and our N2 saver valve, you can save 100% of the nitrogen. Our controller alone can cut your nitrogen usage down by about 90%. If you want to get that last 20%, and that last 10% comes from the nitrogen that flows through your anti-static module. And if you have a S model Labyrinth seal, it flows through that. Having our nitrogen valve, when we turn off the N2, it also closes the valve and we stop all N2 going to the system. The difference of our system versus the OEM who came out with it years ago is that you had to turn off their controller. Most companies do not like to turn on controllers off and on in a fab throughout the day to save nitrogen. Ours is automatic, everything stays live, and it's all fully automatic. The rotors they have, this customer's running 4-inch A7240 MB rotors. These rotors are balanced, as you can see, and I'll spin it in a second. It also has the EMO, as you can see here. And as I said before, I'll look again, we have the back EMO, so that's great. The color coding on our, and I'll discuss this as we're running, well, I call it amber, some people call it yellow, depending on how well you can see color, is that this means the tool is in the idle position, ready to process. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and start the process on the tool. Oh, now I know. That noise I heard when my hand was up here was the N2 saver turning on. That's why they made that beep noise. I thought I actually pushed a button. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and review the process we're going to run. Then during the process, I'll review our remanufacturing process and our unsurpassed support we have on our spare parts. Okay, for reference, let's see what we have here. We have a too long of a process for doing a demo. The typical process here is a 30-second rinse at 500 RPM, the purge, which I'll talk about, for 10 seconds, the dry one and the dry two. We don't need to dry two for 300 seconds, so I'm going to change that. We like to do, when we're burning the tools in, we like to have shorter cycles, and that is a long, I'm going to just change it to 180. That should be plenty of time. Okay, and now we're at 180, and I'm going to do, as you see, the light turned off. The system knows we're in the programming mode, and you're not in the idle mode to run, so the light turns off. And I will, excuse me. I gotta hit a little, and enter, and save, and back. Okay, so I'll go and hit start, and then I'll talk about that as the controller passes through in our remanufacturing process. So in a normal wafer fab, the operator walks up, loads the cassette, and simply hits start. Same thing on the bottom, load the cassette. I like to always clear and make sure, and hit start. There we go. Okay, so as you can see now, the system's running. We're at low RPM, which is 500 RPM, very, very smooth. In fact, if I turn my back, I can't even hear it running. It's so quiet. So on our controller here, for reference, this is green means it's running. So right now the rinse valve is open and the LPP valve is open. And also it's dictated here, and you can see the water being sprayed there. As you notice, our RPMs are right on 500 RPM. Much different than the traditional older semi-tool controllers. We have a proprietary feedback loop that we have exact monitoring and exact control of our RPMs. We don't fluctuate at all. We actually have a smart learning controller that we learn on every process recipe we run. That way, if we find we have a degraded motor or an amp that runs the motor, we actually adjust the power as needed to keep it running at the correct RPM. So right now we're in we're in dry one. So the typical semi-tool process is rinse for X amount of time, whatever the customer likes. Then the purge. The purge is meant, it's a short, it's usually 10 seconds, to blow any water out of the DI line so it doesn't drip back. Then you go into dry one. There's been many studies at semi-tool that if you can reduce your RPM speed, you'll get better particle counts. So they use dry one, which is a shorter dry cycle, to sling the water off the substrates, off the cassette, off the rotor. And then we go into dry two, it's the elongated dry that utilizes RPMs but much lower, and it uses N2, hot N2, and bowl heaters. Dry one also uses N2 and bowl heaters. It's just a lot shorter dry. So you can see, system's running totally smooth. There's no vibration. Everything's looking good. One thing that I'll talk about this tool, we're not prepared to ship this tool yet. This customer specifically is in the United States on the East Coast. We're going to be doing the S2, S8 certification on the tool, and we're waiting for the certification company to come up for that. We already are CE marking capability. Our state-of-the-art controller is already CE marked, and our complete remanufactured systems are CE marked. But we're now doing the S2, S8 certification for this customer in the United States. Okay, I just heard a beep again, which means now we're going to dry two. And watch what you'll see. It'll learn, here we go, 500 RPM. It matches what the spec is down here, and it's right on it. 100% running perfect. Just for reference, as you notice, you see bowl heaters are yellow and amber now. The reason that is the bowl heater has a process switch on it. When the heater is heating up, it stays green. Green means that it's actuated. It heats up. When it hits the process high limit, it turns amber. We stop sending power. Then what we do is we let it cool down to the low sensor. Then when we turn back on. So you'll see that on the bowl heater, it goes green and amber back and forth throughout the process. So as you see, it's running nice and smooth. What I'll do is, we have about 2 minutes left. I'll talk about our remanufacturing process. So at SciTech Process Solutions, we don't care what kind of rinser dryer you want to buy from us. We sell them. We sell multiple systems a week. We actually can take any tool down and build it up to any configuration. We can make it a tabletop, a single stack, a double stack, 300 millimeter, 2 inch, it doesn't matter to us. So what we do in a typical process, we break a tool down, we get the needed part sizes to build it back up. We go through and we rebuild all of the key components. First of all, we ohm out all the electrical lines, make sure they work correctly, all the wire harnesses. We then check all the heater blankets, all the N2 heaters, make sure that they ohm out correctly. We rebuild the motor. We fully test and rebuild the amp if necessary. We go ahead and rebuild all the ACR valves, and that is what we call our prepping, where everything's prepped in a box build ready to begin. Once we start the dry build, we call it dry because there's no water. That's in our dry manufacturing side of the company. We build the system up without any poly. It'll look much like this over here. These are systems that just came into test. These ones have gone through the rebuild process, and now they're going to go into the next step, which I'll talk about, which is the wet processing. So This is how they come into wet test. So in dry test, we have a quality control checklist that our technicians have to have another technician sign off on. Once they sign off on the quality, the system is brought into wet test. I have about 45 seconds left. And then we go ahead and hook it up with DI water, make sure all the valves are tight, the fittings are tight, and so forth. We then do the same quality control in wet test. Then we do 50 process runs. Once it passes that, it's then moved into some configuration. And we'll talk about that in a second. So we have 30 seconds left. So at the end of a process on a spinner dryer, it's called a rotor stop positioner. It's in the back, and it comes out and it hits the cam on the back of the shaft. It has a roller, and it finds the flat on the cam. And it'll upright we call home position, which is 12 o'clock. Once that happens, I can hear the door release and I'll open. I'll go ahead and do that now, then I'll finish the rest of our presentation on our remanufacturing after the system's done. Okay, 3 seconds, 2, 1, boom. Here we go. Now it'll start winding down, winding down. Once it gets to 70, or it passed it. Okay, I just heard the door release, and as you can see, it's home position. So first thing I like to do is make sure we have hot end too. Right there, nice and hot. I'll burn my hand. Make sure the cassette and wafers look dry. They do. If the customer wants a more drier bowl, they have the capability of doing a longer dry cycle. We found, and actually when I was working semi-tool, that if you go to a complete dry bowl, if there are any particles, they become airborne again. So some of the value of having a few water droplets down below is that if there are any particles, they can get trapped in the water droplets and then washed back out. I'm going to check the bed emergency dryer. Yep, nice and hot end too. Cassette looks good, a full load. Nice and warm, looks nice. Okay, put this back in there correctly. If I do it right. Let's see what we got here. What am I doing wrong? There we go. Sorry about that. Alrighty. So let's continue on the remanufacturing process. So the system is brought in, as we talked about, and it's gone through the wet testing as a standalone head assembly. It's then put in its configuration. In this case, it's a double stack configuration. We put all the skins on. We have our own poly shop at SciTech, so if we see any yellowing of the skins, any degradation of the skins, any staining, we go ahead and replace them. As you can see, if you didn't know it, you would think this is a brand new system. Our quality at SciTech is they have to run 100% like new, and they have to look 95% like new. Since we are remanufacturing, we can't say 100% new because it's a remanufacturing process, but we like to say that our quality control has to be at 95%. Once it's brought into the final configuration here, all the amps are put into it, all the controllers are installed, all the wiring is done. It's gone through 50 more process runs. After it passes 50 process runs, it's given over to sales. We come out and do the video for our customers for the quality control. So I've reviewed our remanufacturing process. Now let's talk about our spare parts. We are the #1 supplier of non-OEM spare parts, we believe, in the United States and becoming a worldwide leader. We have, on this system you see right here, 100% spare parts. We have new amps designed by SciTech. Turns out the Automotion Control amp has been discontinued by Automotion. We have designed our own amp that's a direct replacement, so we offer brand new amps. We build brand new motors. We have brand new ACR valves. We have brand new heater blankets. We have brand new door seals. We have brand new windows. We have brand new sensors. That would be the 8 and 20 PSI sensors. We can do everything brand new, not a problem at all. And that's on all versions. That's on the S model, which is this, the F model, which looks like this, which is a hybrid because it uses a brush motor, and the traditional ST. We still do lots and lots of ST remanufacturing. In fact, one of our biggest markets now is we do quite a lot of customers rebuilds. We probably have in a given week 3 to 5 heads come in every week from customers that want us to remanufacture their tools because they know the quality of when we remanufacture a customer's tool, we do it to the same quality as we're selling the tool. So it goes back to a like new condition. We have a lot of customers that have 25 to 50 head assemblies in their fabs, and they just cycle them through. Every time we ship one to them, they ship another one back. So it's a very good market for us. So we offer 100% spare parts. Let's talk about service. We offer for the 101, the 102, and the traditional 2 and 3 series controllers, complete repair services. We can do any repair. Our repair rate is probably 98%. It's very, very rare we can't repair something. In fact, we have to make it new. We can. We have the boards. We can replace the board if the cost is not prohibitive. We can actually replace every controller. We also do all the older ST ones. Again, those are the 2 and 3 series. We also do customers' amp rebuilds and repairs. We probably do between 5 and 10 a week. So we do quite a lot of amp repairs. So again, knowing the amount of work we do, the amount of parts we supply, we believe we are 100% the market leader in the United States and becoming the market leader through our distributorship network worldwide. Besides spin rinse dryers, we also have a few other key product lines. One is the mask cleaners. Here's a mask cleaner right here that's going in the final test. It'll be ready actually tomorrow. So we do the Ultra T, KNS, Ultra Tech, and so forth mask cleaners. We do quite a lot of these. We also do, and we know we're the world leader on these, the Integris box washers. We don't do them in here because that Integris box washer needs an 100 amp service. So we have them built outside. But we ship the 8000, 8010, 8020, and 8030. We also have a very large range of spare parts. By default, since we're a remanufacturer, we had to figure out the parts or redesign them ourselves on the older tools. If you go to our website at SciTechProcess.com, you also see on the left-hand side a variety of buttons. We offer metrology tools, 10-core, KLA, and so forth. We offer lipsometers, that would be the Rudolph, the lipsometers. We have DECTAC profilometers. We also do etch and ash equipment. That would be the typical Branson etchers, the matrix etchers, and so forth. And we also have high and low microscopes, the Nikon, lights, etc. We also have a quite large inventory of cassettes. Throughout the years, as companies resize and other things happen, we buy their new inventory, and we have probably a good 10,000 cassettes in stock in one of our warehouses. Our company building here, we have our building here, which is our main manufacturer, which is almost 8,000 square feet. We have the warehouse next door that's attached to us. We have 3 off-site location warehouses, so we have a lot of facility for storing all of our equipment and our parts. Okay, so that will conclude this presentation of a fully remanufactured 870S spin rinse dryer, upgraded to the state-of-the-art SciTech graphical controller. As I stated in the beginning, this makes this tool better than any rinser dryer that we know available in the world right now that's in mass production. Again, this company will be receiving their tool as soon as we get the S2 and S8 certification done on it. We're hoping next week. It's really out of our hands because our certification company has a backlog, and then we're waiting for them to come up and do the final certification. If there's any questions, my name is Jim Mullaney from SciTech Process Solutions. You can call us at 916-797-9000 and ask for anyone in our sales organization. Again, today is Wednesday, October 24th, 2018. Thank you. Have a great day.